Oh my god. Hi, girlies.
Hello, Jenny.
Hi, Bria.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Y'all already know. What are we off today? That Jeter.
Pumpkin eater. Here it is.
That Jeter. What kind of Jeter, like what is it specifically?
Tropicali infused cannabis with keef.
It doesn't say if it's like a sativa or what it is exactly.
Oh, it's definitely a sativa because I don't smoke indica. Yeah. Sativa.
Okay, good. I don't smoke indica either.
It's like too much of the night. I don't need that.
I agree.
This expires in a year.
Oh, wow.
So
definitely won't last that long.
Know that. It's almost gone.
What's
going on with you these days?
You know, I'm really just standing in my divine feminine lately and finding joy in those feminine things like answering questions such as and wearing a swimsuit and sharing my talent with the world.
Bitch.
And it all has really inspired me to be more like Miss USA. Lean in, so to speak.
Did you ever do pageantry as
No.
a kid?
Did you?
I wasn't even allowed to do brownies.
Why?
My mom was like, I hated Girl Scouts, and so I won't make you do it. And then I was like, oh.
Why did she hate it?
I don't know. She probably just didn't like organized crime. Just kidding.
What? Conspiracy.
Oh, no.
Shit.
I don't know. I think she didn't like dressing up in like a cute little uniform and like wanted to play sports.
I see. Yeah, she wasn't into
cookies
that.
And she was like, this is bullshit.
Yeah, selling cookies is something that I probably wouldn't want to do if I were a kid, but
yeah.
You know, no, never was into pageants. No, I was never into anything girly like that, although I did go through a brief toddlers and tiaras watching stint. Yeah. And then I got really scared and stopped watching.
I feel like our generation, like after Jean-Monnet Ramsey died, I feel like people were like, this is kind of weird. I'm good. Like,
yeah,
it's really big in the South. And like, I feel like that's like a big thing, like toddlers and tiaras. Where does it take place?
I don't know. I think it's all over.
Oh, really?
They change up the people.
It's just weird. It's like, why do you need to have a contest to know who's the best girl
when they're 6?
When they're 6,
and they have fake teeth, wigs,
oh my God, the fake
makeup.
Teeth sends me. It's so weird.
Little 2-piece bikinis and shit. I'm like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
It's a little odd, but no, never got into that. Never was into like Miss America or Miss USA even. Did you watch those?
I did watch Miss USA and Miss America. I feel like as a kid I liked Miss America better, but I think I watched it because I loved Miss Congeniality with Sandra Bullock.
That whole thing was like she was like an FBI agent or something.
She was an FBI agent breaking up a ring, like a crime ring that was through the pageant.
Oh, tea. It's not like that's never happened before. Yeah. So what's really going on this week is Miss USA resigned. And I feel like
first ever to resign.
And I feel like this is the first time that everyone's really looking at Miss USA and being like, wait, what the fuck is going on? Since the Trump era.
Yeah.
Trump owning Miss USA, I remember during his first campaign, people were bringing it up as like you're a predator kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that's really the last that we heard about Miss USA until now.
I know. I feel like I didn't even realize like it wasn't being televised because I feel like I would remember, okay, every year like it's going to be on NBC. Mm-hmm. It'll be a whole thing. And then ever since Trump ran for president, it hasn't really been a thing and no one's really talked about it.
Yeah. Although when was it that I think it was actually Miss Universe when Steve Harvey said the wrong person.
Oh. But that was like pre-pandemic, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know.
I think it was like around the time of Trump's presidency.
Yeah.
Maybe. But regardless, it's in the news now. Her name's Noelia Voigt, and she released a statement on her Instagram. Basically, it was just like very blase, like, and I need to take a step back from my mental health, blah, blah, blah. It's a lot. And the first letter of each sentence spells out, I am silenced.
Yeah, that's wild.
That is some crazy shit. First of all, who discovered that is what I want to know. Second of all, silenced from saying what? And that is what we must find out. Everyone, do it with me. Your tin hat. Put it on. Because this is a conspiracy theory. Oh. And we're getting into it.
Oh.
So
neener.
It all started before Noelia resigned. It was the social media director who resigned first. And she released a public statement on her Instagram essentially saying that it was a toxic work environment. The contestants can't speak up. This is too much, whatever. And she specifically called out the organization president, Layla Rose, as like a huge harasser, basically just like a bitchy, rude person who let the social media director get sexually harassed by someone who the social media director was throwing the first pitch at a baseball game, and Layla Rose was like, I hope you get hit in the face with it. It was like the most petty shit. And then Miss USA resigns, and then Miss Teen USA also resigns 2 days later. And so now it's like, what's the fuck is going on here? Yeah. It sounds just like a very toxic environment.
Like, why would you, why would you resign after you've worked probably your whole life for this title? And you resign and say it was for mental health reasons. But it was like, because I was seeing stuff that was like, it's a toxic work environment. Like, do you really need to like work in the environment if you want a pageant?
Yeah, because they're controlling every single thing you do. That was like the major point of contention, because parts of Miss USA's resignation letter to Miss USA got leaked. I don't think they leaked the whole thing, but she was saying there's a toxic work environment within the Miss USA organization that at best is poor management and at worst is bullying and harassment. And she alleged that she was policed and told what to do, what not to do, what posts to take down. If she liked a post, Layla would call her and be like, unlike that right now. Every single aspect of her reign was policed. Ooh.
I'm like, it sounds like a social media job. I'm like, yeah, pretty.
But it's you. Like, you're the person.
Yeah.
She also, they wouldn't give her Manhattan or Los Angeles apartments that she was promised when, as part of your win, you win these apartments. So she didn't get that. And then 5 months into her reign, they were like, okay, we're not going to give you those apartments. You can have one in Florida.
Where's she from?
She's from Utah.
Oh, that's right.
So, no, I still feel like Florida wouldn't be that interesting.
Yeah.
Probably.
Utah's beautiful.
But they also weren't letting her go to any of the big events. Like, usually Miss USA goes to Fashion Week and the Kentucky Derby and stuff. Instead, they're making her go to these, like, cheap pageant or, like, runway shows and shit like that like, aren't really relevant. So, I don't know. Miss Teen USA also said, or she didn't say this, but a source said that she was bullied so bad by Layla Rose that her parents were like, you cannot speak to her anymore. Anything you have to say comes through us.
Where do we know where Layla Rose comes from? Is she from WME or the companies that bought Miss USA afterwards? Or was she just like a random hire?
No, she was a VVV Global Entertainment founder.
Oh, that must be who bought it after WME.
Hold on, I wrote this down.
I remember when I listened to the podcast, it was like 4 or 5 different companies have bought Miss USA in the last 5 years.
Right, and the first one was the Thai company that went bankrupt.
And then it was WME and IMG.
And they were the ones that were accused of rigging the contest.
Yes.
And then they, and also...
Well, they did.
Yeah, so the
Because
president rigged it, and then the VP, who was her husband, was also sexually harassing.
Well, I don't know about that, but I know that they said, like, in the rules that they were entitled to, like, if 10 blonde girls were as they were contestants and they wanted 5, they could be like, no. They would, like, swap them out or something. It sounded like if there were 10 blonde girls running to be Miss USA and they only wanted 5, they would be like, we don't want the other 5.
And they would choose the runner-up?
They would just not select them to move forward.
Oh, I see. They would cut them early.
Yeah, or maybe like switch them for the runner-ups. I don't know. I mean, it wasn't televised. I think the last one that was televised was in 2020, and it was on some network that I've never heard of in my life.
I feel like it used to be such a big deal.
It was huge.
Wasn't that where Heidi Montag performed? Didn't she perform on Miss USA, or was it Miss Universe?
She performed?
Yes.
Wow, I don't remember.
It was iconic.
I mean, they had massive sponsors, but I think Donald Trump and all the stuff that, grab him by the pussy, I honestly feel like that was like the thing that killed the pageantry. And he owned Miss USA and Miss Continental, or Miss Teen USA. He owned 2 for like 20 years.
And all that time, he was going back there and bringing his friends back there to ogle and looking at these women while they were undressed and shit. And it didn't come out until so much later.
I just want to know, like, why does someone want to run in a pageant? I get, like, a drag pageant because those are fun. And it's, like,
do you feel like there's
artistry.
an element of creativity in a Miss USA?
Only in the talent portion.
Because they're not really are they picking their gowns and shit?
Yeah, well, they have a whole team helping them, I feel like,
right.
figure that out. And it's so crazy, like, the pageantry business, like, that you pay for a coach, you pay for classes, for all this shit, for what? Like, it feels so old school. Like, it feels such, like, a 1950s thing. Like, it feels like the same, like.
But you get money.
Yeah, but it feels like the debutante era. Like my mom has the article of my grandmother, like, coming out to society in her country club in Wisconsin. It's like,
wow.
As a debutante at a debutante ball, people don't fucking do that anymore. So I feel like it's like the same thing. Like, do we need pageants? We have social media now. Like, I feel like it just doesn't make sense because it's like you can find really cool, unique women.
Yeah, and this isn't really indicative of anything. It's just kind of like what you look like, how you smile, how you walk. I don't know.
Yeah, what you look like, how you smile, how you walk, what you look like in a bathing suit and a dress, and what's your special talent, and then can you have PC answers for politically correct questions?
Yes.
Okay, there's so many more things we can do.
Are you media trained?
Females. I love the movie Miss Congeniality, and I feel like that movie tries to show like the ugly but the good out of being
what's the good?
Like the feminine, like you're bringing a bunch of women together to ultimately work together to this one thing and like have the female empowerment. Like,
are they working together
at the end? Yeah, to like bust the corporation.
Oh, okay, I see.
I'm just saying, like, you could perceive it in a way where it's like, wow, all these women are they're colleagues of each other, and they're uplifting each other.
Mm-hmm.
I would say more often than not, it's very combative. I mean, you're competing against each other. You're women competing against each other. You're putting women up against each other. So it's obviously going to create like negative morale and
Did you say that you had seen Drop Dead Gorgeous?
No, I thought I did, but I did not.
It is such a good, hilarious portrayal of pageants, like these small town pageants, because they're all completely different and they have different areas, I don't know, that they're good at or different things that they can talk about. but they are so catty towards each other, and like they all have to win, and the ones who aren't like that always get out. And so at the end of the day, it's like people will literally kill to be the pageant queen.
Yeah.
It gets very, very intense.
I believe it. I mean, it's just weird to me. I wish we knew someone who was in that world. I mean, the only person I know closest to that world is, I don't even know them, but is Rachel. And she's so fucked up.
Who's Rachel?
Raquel.
Oh, fuck.
I mean,
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh, she's a pageant girl.
Yeah. And remember, she like cried for aging out of pageants at 27. It's like, girl, that's what you're living your life for?
Yeah.
To run in pageants? You could do so much more with your life. I mean, it's kind of a catch-22 because like if you win pageants, then you could do so much with your winning.
Like you're going to these events, you're raising money, I guess you're doing stuff, but at what cost?
Yeah. And well, on the Valley, Leia, she was Miss USA.
Right.
So I would love to hear from her, like what she thinks.
I know. Even on the show, she was talking about being sexually harassed. When Trump's friend came in and tried to touch her, and she like did her black belt karate.
Yeah.
And she was like, I'm a black belt. Don't touch me. You're going to get hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes very deep, but I'm very curious as to what they are being silenced about specifically.
Yeah, me too.
Because both Miss USA and Miss Teen USA have alluded to there being some shit that they can't say. And other contestants have come out too and been like, yep, I signed something too and I can't say anything and I want to say something. So now it's just like,
what do you think it could be?
I don't know. I think it could get very dark. I think there could be some deep trauma going on.
Like rape? Oof.
I think it could go deep, especially if Trump and his like powerful friends have been involved, and like their previous VP after Trump was involved.
What about ties to Jeffrey Epstein?
We don't know, because Trump has ties to Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah. You know, like what's happening to these contestants after the show if they don't win? What's happening to the people who do win? We just really don't know. So the Miss USA response to all of this has also been very interesting because they are being extremely fucking shady. After the resignations, the Miss USA socials were posting pictures of other contestants being like, congrats for scoring the highest in the swimsuit category. Congrats for scoring the highest in the talent category. As in like, bitch, you won Miss USA, but you didn't win this category.
Or maybe they're like, we're getting bad press. We really need to highlight other women.
Or that. But it just seems like a fuck you. Like, you've never congratulated anyone besides the winner, the runner-up, the first runner-up, maybe the second runner-up. But now you're just bringing out random categories to talk about them. It's very interesting.
Sus.
It's very sus. Layla Rose, maybe she needs to do a little interview, a little tell-all.
I wonder if it would go so far as like getting bankrupt. And then
wouldn't be the first time. I honestly think in the cultural zeitgeist, it's time to shut it down.
Because I feel like there could be a world where you save it, but like the whole pageant industry needs to change. Like,
how could you even change it to make it worth continuing?
It's not like a beauty pageant anymore. You would do like a talent portion.
They already do a talent portion.
But just talent.
So it's just a talent show.
I guess it's over.
Like there's the concept of a pageant is inherently fucked up. There's no way to save it. Hashtag abolish Miss USA.
I mean, it's true. It's like what you're setting a standard of beauty that like is only achievable by a small percentage.
That part. No one I mean, for a long time they didn't even have women of color.
I was going to say, like I only remember recent news about like Miss USA, Miss America, Miss World, but being like the first Muslim woman has won. The first this country woman has won. It's like, woo-hoo. Like, that's fucked
I actually
up.
remember a couple of years ago there was controversy because there was a white blonde girl who won, and she was from an African country.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Miss South Africa won.
And everyone was like, bitch, why are you winning? So it kind of like,
yeah.
I don't
She
know.
was so sad. People are like, you're discrediting her. And that does suck. It's like, the whole thing is just so crazy.
It is crazy, and it needs to be stopped. I mean, at this point, it almost makes me think of like the Victoria's Secret fashion show.
I know.
Like, the whole premise of that was these like really skinny girls who they're naturally thin and work out anyway, but they were like starving themselves for this, I almost said pageant, for this runway show. And it's almost too late to change it, especially after Victoria's Secret like doubled down initially.
Well, maybe one idea is Rihanna could save Miss USA because in a way Rihanna has like saved the Victoria's Secret fashion show by having her own Fenty fashion show.
I mean, yeah, I think that like definitely killed it more than saved it.
Right. It killed it, and then she like resurrected it because now it's this own cool, beautiful thing where all different women and men are featured in it, and like it's just like genius work. So maybe there's a way she can resurrect or save. I don't know.
They need to call Rihanna.
Yeah.
Call somebody. I mean, I don't know how they're going to get out of this specifically. I'm sure they'll just like ignore it until people forget. But when 2-3 people resign in the organization, also it's important to note that the runner-up did not even take the crown after Miss USA. They had to go to the next runner-up. That to me says a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like if Miss USA dies, the whole pageantry will die.
Definitely.
Unless it's like a local thing. But I don't know. Like I said, like I don't know a single person in my social life who did a pageant.
Me neither.
I'm like, where is Miss
Even
California
in the South? Yeah, I'm like, what are people doing? I don't know. I think it is dying. I'm looking forward to that. And I think it's time for us to close this out.
What's the idea?
Hashtag abolish Miss USA / you know what? Abolish or reform.
Resurrect.
Some people are reformists. Some people are abolitionists. If they can reform it in a good way, I would listen. But I'd like to leave you with a quote from Miss Teen USA.
Okay.
It's very, I mean, I don't know if we should bring the tissues over here because it gets really emotional.
Oh, God.
I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps. And I believe that our education, like such as South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere like such as, and I believe they should. Our education over here in the U.S. should help the U.S. or should help South Africa and should help Iraq and the Asian countries. So we would be able to build up our future for, and then the host cut her off.
Yeah, that sounds, I remember when that happened. She's nervous and didn't know how to answer a question and didn't prepare. And it's like, we don't need to do that to people anymore.
We don't. That is an infamous part of her history now.
It's sad because it's like, I don't know. I'm just going to say a bunch of words.
Like such as, how do I tie this in? I get the panic.
Yeah.
I definitely get the panic. Hopefully there won't be any more panic. Hopefully Miss USA and Miss Teen USA feel like they can speak. I want the director of social media to say more as well. Because we need to expose this Layla Rose. I don't trust her.
Who are you?
Who the fuck are you?
Well, we can close out by saying make sure that you follow us at High Girlies Pod on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And if you want to see us talk about any topics, like let us know. We're open, researching. We're going to be investigating more about this. Miss USA situation.
And others.
There's a lot going on. This is the year of really blowing things wide open. Diddy, Miss USA, Drake.
This is the year of realizing things.
Yeah.
Jay-Z, you're next. You're next, Jay-Z.
Oh. Shit.
I know he's next. The only person who's not ever going to get exposed is 50 Cent.
Because
that fool is safe.
He is open about, he's like, yeah, I did that, so what? But then he goes, let me show you how all these other motherfuckers are way worse than me. He was like, I respect women.
Did you hear about this Justin Timberlake daughter thing?
No. Oh my God.
Okay,
what?
I'll be quick and then we will end this. Justin Timberlake's alleged daughter, who is an older woman in like her early 20s, has been posting exposing him as a predator, a child predator, and how he like molested her, his son and her, his son with Jessica Biel.
Wait. You're telling me that he has an illegitimate daughter and she has a son?
No, Justin Timberlake's son.
His son. Okay.
Her brother, or I guess half brother. Yeah.
Yeah, that he molested him. What? Who would be her mother?
I think she said it.
Who?
I think it was just like a random hookup. So that is all highly alleged.
Was that a blind item or?
No, it's like someone on social media who is saying that they are this person.
Oh.
We don't know. It's alleged. It very well could not be true. It could be coming from the Britney stans. After the book came out.
Her mom is Britney Spears.
They gave me up for adoption. It was never an abortion. No.
Could you imagine?
Honestly, stranger things have happened.
I know.
Anything is possible. But thoughts and prayers to Miss USA, to Cassie. I'm going to sneeze.
Oh, she didn't cover her mouth.
This is how you sneeze.
No.
Yes.
Okay. She did it in the open. You didn't cover it.
I didn't, actually. We do have it on camera so they can see.
Okay.
Bye, girlies.